I think I'm going to put myself in the corner. Isn't this beautiful? I had so much fun making this. Hey, there I am. And I'm behind this, I'm up here and I'm behind this camera here. So that's why I'm putting myself in the corner because you really can't see me too much anyway. This is my card. And let me zoom in. It is with our Earthen Elegance paper. It's got the copper paper, the copper clay cardstock. I'm using 4 patterns out of the paper pack. I'm using this design, this one, it may be the back of it, and then these 2. Like I said, this was the one. And we're making little bottles, but I haven't purchased the dies yet. So I went to my stash, which I like to do, and I pulled out this punch, and it is our vintage bottled punch. And as you can see, it still goes great with the idea of the paper. So because the dies in the paper have these large, I guess I could show you, have these large, what's the word I'm looking for? Pots. Okay, there's the dies right there for the large pots, like that are so popular right now to put on your front porches. And then they have the greenery, they have great sayings. And then, of course, here's our samples that are used. And so I am seeing a lot of samples that look like this, and they're just so pretty. So here's one here with that big, I guess it's frond, I think is what it's called. Uh-oh, one of my kitties is fighting. Okay, so this is Earthen Elegance, and if you want the entire suite, you use this number right here, and it will get you everything. It will get you the paper, let me show it to you. The paper, the twine, the stamp set, and the dies. So, and again, the dies are down here. Let me show them to you. There they are. Or if you just want to buy the bundle, it's 10% off just getting the bundle, where you would get the stamp set and the dies. And actually, while the sale is on, it would probably be best to do that. Get your bundled items, get your stamp set and your dies, and you would use, I'm trying to get too close. You would use this number, can't get it there, this number for the bundle, okay, and it saves you that 10%, and then purchase the paper separately so you could get the 15% off the paper, and then just buy the twine and you'd have the whole set anyway. So that's what I would do if I were purchasing it for myself right now. Okay, so we're using bottled vintage bottle, and I'm also using this, which is a sprig punch. This is already retired, but I still pulled it out because I like it. And then I am using this punch, which is the bow punch, and it's so wonderful to use. Makes lots of different designs, and actually we have a new stamp that it goes with from one of our $1 million achievers. And let's see what else. Okay, so bottled happiness. One of the things I pulled in here for this card is this interesting die. Okay, you see how it just makes this cuts? Because I love that the paper did that kind of different blocks, hash marks, whatever you want to call them. So I pulled a die that was, it's right here. It's called Artisan Editions. I did not see this in our catalog. I think it's a retired product, because I think when I bought it, it was like on the last chance list. And so I went ahead and chose it because I love the way they have all these different dies, but especially this one. And it was marked really, really down, you know, so because these dies sometimes are very, very expensive. So let's get started with this one. I hope you like the way it looks. It's not very hard, but it does take some time to put it together. Let me see if I have anybody in my chat room. What is going on? I can't see my chatters. Okay, people, if you're talking to me, I cannot see you for some reason. My chat is not coming up. I don't know. Well, I can't use my phone because it's filming. Okay, so I decided to use my mat, this mat today. All right, let me pull to get started on the card. I showed you this punches and everything. And what we're going to be using. Where's my card base? Ah, wonderful. I do not have my card base ready. Isn't that crazy? Oh, and my desk is such a mess. I doubt if I can find one. Hold on. Let me look back here. Crazy, crazy. Come on. Really? All right. Well, I cannot find a card base because my desk back here is full of stuff. So we're going to make the front of the card and then, you know, to put it on a card base. Woo! I was telling my upline, Christina, I said, I'm feeling really wacko these days. And this is why. It's like I can't get all of it done for some reason. Okay, so we're using this paper. This is going to be one of the fronts. And of course, this one, let's see, let me put them in order here. We're going to use this copper paper for, let me close this in a little bit. This is copper clay, and it is cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 because I have my cardstock normally. It goes on. Jeez. I bet this is too small too. Yep, I've already cut those down. I found it. Oh my gosh. Found it. Oh my dear. Maybe I need to just start over. All right. So we're making this gorgeous card using Earthen Elegance. It has a lot of different elements. I'm using the vintage bottle punch along with the bow punch and then maybe the sprig punch also. I'm using a special die that is retired. And if you have anything like this, you want to pull it and use it. I like to use things that have already retired because a lot of people have these things. So that's what I'm doing. This hello is something that was in my stash and I decided to use it and put it on my card. So we start with the white card base, which is 5 1/2 this way by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. This is the heavy white card base. And then we're going to glue on our copper clay cardstock mat. And as you can see, it's just going to give a peek of the white. So I'll use my glue and go ahead and get that started. I am a glue girl. I use my Stampin' Seal, you know, occasionally for special reasons, but for the most part, I use glue. Let me get this over here on my right side. I am right-handed. The cards I've seen so far, like online and stuff, to me they kind of all look alike, and so I hope this one looks a little different to you. And it's because of those dies; they're very They just show up. And if you're using those pots and those big palm looking greenery, then it makes your card look a little bit all the same. Okay, this one I love. I love this paper. It looks like it's 3D. That's why I like it. And on the back is that pretty peacock. This one is what I call the gray DSP. It's 5 1/4 by 4. And again, it's going to make that little bitty 1/16 of an inch all the way around. There's that. And then the next thing I did, like I said, I used the die. You can see it here. It's in this pack, Artisan Editions. I bought it on clearance when our annual catalog was leaving us, and it was marked down a lot. So be sure to do that, you know, at the end of the year. Look for things like this that you can use with anything. It's a great addition. Okay, so I have it already cut out. There's that same die, and all I need to do is to cut it. And let's see, I want to cut it and have it on my card like so. Now this is too high, so I'm going to cut right here at 2 1/2. And then of course we want it to sit on the gray, so that would be 2 1/2 by 4. Let me get my cutter, my trimmer. I have such a mess on my desk behind me because I was trying to organize all of my stamps. And I'm like, well, I'll make copies, but that's not really working. So I'm going to have to go to something else. 2 1/2. Where's 2 1/2? 2 1/2 is right here. I saw that some of the ladies are using Airtable, which is a data processing, and it looks a lot like Excel, but it's not Excel. But it's really cool the way you can pull up all your images of your stamps. And is that 4? Make sure it's 4. Yep. Okay. Talking. Images and the sentiments, because that's what I want to do, is be able to pull up all my birthday sentiments and look at them for the card I'm working with or designing. Okay, so see, this works perfectly. It shows it covers all of the gray, but the gray is peeking through this, and I think that is so cool. And let me see which way I have it turned on my card. Yep, I thought I did. Okay, I turned it like this with about a 1/2 inch at the bottom, and it's to give me more. I'm putting my bottles over here, so it's giving me more design on this side. So let me go ahead and glue that down. I wish I could see my people that are here. I apologize, everyone who's out there watching. I cannot see my comments right now, but I will after the video is over. Go back and look. So say hi anyway. And I'll reply to you after I finish recording. Okay. See, that just gives such neat interest. And, you know, because this is so busy, so I wanted to use a smaller pattern to keep it from looking quite so busy. And now we're going to make our bottles. And I'm out of my bottles. I'm using, that's funny. I'm using this paper, which you can see I've already cut into, and this one I've cut into. So let's do that. And I'm using the Vintage Punch, and this is in our catalog right now. So this is the Vintage Punch. And we're going to make one. I was trying to get this variation of color. That's why I cut it here right in the middle of the paper, and I'm going to do the same. So get that variation of this rustic looking bottle. Okay, there's one. And two would be out of this, my, what I call, it's got to be rusty something, but like I said, it looks like beer foam to me. Okay, let's see. I think right there looks good. There we go. And that's all it is to punching out the bottles. Now, one of the things I did with my bottles is I have stacked them with my copper clay cardstock, and it's to give it a little bit more firmness on the card, because if you'll look, these are pretty flimsy. They don't have much to them. So that's why I went to my cardstock, copper clay, and backed them. Now you try to have everything ready, and then something's still missing. Okay, so I'm going to use my vintage punch again, and I'm going to cut, let's see, how many can I get out of this? Probably 4. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course I could keep cutting, but I won't. And what I'm going to do here now is just glue 2 of these onto the back of this to make them stronger, make it stronger so that when I pop it up, it has the weight and it won't droop on me. So that's a little tip if you ever want to make your elements stronger, just stack them. And sometimes we do that with our words. Okay, so that's all I need, and put this one on top. And then let's do it again. Just a little, not much glue. And there we go. So now it's got a nice weight to it. So I can't just bend it as like I did before. So there's one. Let's do the other one. There was something else I had ready on my StreamYard. It was where all my ads that I wanted to share with you that I did at the very beginning. I had where I could pop them up on my screen. And then when I opened StreamYard today, it's like, they're not there. Why aren't they there? So I got to figure that out again. Okay, so now I have both of them stacked, and it makes them stronger. All right. So the next step I want to do is put twine around their necks. We did this with the vintage bottle before when we were doing using that stamp set, and I'm going to use my linen thread to do so. Now here, this is why I use my tape runner. Okay, I have a genuine mess, and I can't use my tape runner because I can't find it. I can use glue dots. There we go. I see them. Oh, geez Louise. Okay, I'm going to put a glue dot behind here to hold my twine as I get started. Here's this one. There we go. So Start here. Let it stick to my glue dot, and here we go. And just wrapping around, easy peasy. You can crisscross them a little bit. That kind of helps give it more texture too. Go over it again if you want, depending on how thick you want it. There we go. And now I'm going to cut this and put a Stampin' Dimensional on it to hold it. Okay. Now I know where they are because they're in a drawer. It's just everything behind me is a wreck. Because I thought I had to do something organizing, and you end up taking everything out. And oh, okay, so all I need is 2 because the actual image is very, very strong now. My element. Okay, I'm putting this one here, and I'm putting it lower or right at the bottom of my 2.5 inch piece. There. Isn't that neat? Cool looking. And let's do the twine on the other one. I was excited to do this, and then here I am fumbling with my video. I'll try to edit out some of it. I still have somebody hanging on with me. Thank you so much. So keep wrapping. So you feel good about it, and I think that's plenty. And I'm going to use another Stampin' Dimensional after I cut it. Come on. There we go. Okay, I want to hold down this end with the Stampin' Dimensional there. So nice and firm now, not all just so thin. I love that. I want you to try it if you haven't already. Stacking to make it more of a chipboard piece. And this one, I'm going to put, you know what, instead of one set of dimensionals, I'm going to put another stack so that it will be lifted a little higher. I'm going to stack it on top of my other ones. That's a double, and here's another double. This, I guess, is another little trick that I did for this card. Yeah, that one's ready. And now when I put it next to this one, I'm going to lift it up higher so it just about goes over. So, but with my extra dimensional in the bottom, I mean on the inside, it's lifting it. Let's see if you can see it. So here's the first with just one, and this one has 2 stuck together. So that's kind of cool. And now we're going to do the greenery. I have mossy meadow, and I have some gold. Now I pulled this one. This is an old, it's called Sprig. It's retired, but you know, like I said, some of you may have it, so go ahead and pull it. And I'm using this one for my gold, and I'm just going to use 2 of them, so I don't have to do too much. Punching is so fast, so good. So here's one. You're going to have to see how I handle these too, because you can't put them flat on the card now that I've got those bottles lifted. Okay, this one's going to go over here. And then I'm using the Mossy Meadow and I'm going to use the other punch, which is the bow punch. Bow. I'm going to have to look up exactly how to say that, bow or bow. Okay. There's one. I think I just used one each. So one, let's do two. One punch each. That should do it. Be enough. I tried to really stack a lot of stuff and it just didn't look good. So I had to make it more simple. And what I did is I left this piece, the gold in the back, and I'm gluing on this one on the front, kind of gluing it only at the bottom so that they separate. And this is too long, so I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to use my little glue on this little piece right there, just a dot, and hold it on there without getting my fingers sticky. Okay. Now again, it's loose everywhere else. Okay. So just at the bottom. And now the other little thing is we're going to put this one on too, but we don't have to cut the bottom of the leaf stem because it's small. And I'm going to put a dot about right here where these join. That's all I need. And I'm going to turn this one at an angle so it shows up a little more. There. So it's hanging off and showing off there. And now to get it behind my bottle so it looks like it's in the bottle instead of down here on the page, on the paper, I need to put a glue dot there and then stick it to the back of the bottle. So my glue dots are here. I'm going to put one on the front. Come on. There. And I think I need to put another one on because I put it kind of high. I want to put it more toward the bottom. There. There we go. Now let's put it on that bottle. So when I lift this, you got to go away for a minute. I'm going to be putting it underneath and pushing it onto that back of that bottle, like so. You see how I'm pushing it forward? So, and then you just touch it and it will stay. And I want to kind of separate these. It gives it a little bit more dimension, like so. Can you see how I separated them? But they look like they're in the bottle because it's right there next to the bottle. Oh, that's so fun. It's not hard. Okay, let's do the next one. It's the same item. So I've got the little gold that I did with the sprig punch. And we're going to cut this one a little bit more. And then put the dot of glue here on this gold. There. Use the bow punch leaf. Put it here. And keep them separated. The only place I put the glue is at the bottom. Oops, didn't stick yet. It's because of the gold. It needs a little bit more time to set. So we'll just wait. Now I can put this one on. I keep dropping it. And I want to put the glue on the front again so I can attach it. Well, so I can attach this. I think I'm going to lean this one to the right this time. Little pieces. Come on. Yeah, why not? Okay, and the glue dot will go on the top again, and we'll put it underneath that other neck of the bottle. Yes, I told myself, it's like, no, you're not going to buy any of the big packs of 12 by 12 paper until you use all your paper share. Well, I started playing with the paper share, and that's how I got this. And then, of course, as soon as I got this, because I made this last week, as soon as I got this put together, I'm like, oh, I got to go get the paper. And there we go. See how those little branches look? I think it's cool. I just love the bottles. The rustic. My husband has a deer lease, and they always look for old bottles that are, thrown amongst the rocks and stuff. Now we need to put a sentiment. Let's see here. Put everything down. I need a white piece again. This is my envelope. Okay. Let me grab another white piece. Okay, and I am going to put the sentiment in copper clay. And what's my sentiment? Since this was, and this is stacked, this was something I had in my stash. I already had a couple of these. I don't know when I got it. It's not Stampin' Up, but I liked it and put it on this card. But today I'm going to use our Stampin' Up stamp that says hello. And we'll use it on the card. Okay, looks good. I'll go to the top here. Line it up right there. There we go. And now all I have to do is just cut a little bit. I think I'll use my trimmer because I'm better with the trimmer than cutting on my own. All right, let me clear this all off. Things are happening here. Okay. To cut my hello, pull this in again. I don't know if you do that, but this is what I like to do to cut sentiments to make sure they're straight. Now I can see I'm lining up over here with these lines to make sure the top of it is straight. And then I have to push it up a little bit so I can get under the word. That looks good. Got to go a little more. Almost full inch. There we go. Slice it. And then slice it again this way. Because you can see through this ruler, so you can see where your word is. That's cool. Come in. And I think I want to cut it a little closer on the hello side. So I'm going to put this down again. Like I said, you can see through, so you can judge how far you're cutting. Love, love, love this trimmer. When I first started Stampin' Up, I thought, oh, I can just use my old trimmer for a while, and I did. But then when I got this one, I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder everybody loves it, because it is a great trimmer. There we go. So now it's cut very nicely, kind of close to the word, and I'm going to put this on dimensionals. And probably, now I had my other one, the word by itself way up here, but because this is just a small word, I'm going to kind of tuck it right here because I want it to be close to my elements. Does that make sense? Because if I put it up here, it feels like it's just, I mean, I could put it right there. It would be better if it was long and skinny up there. But because it's just a little rectangle, I'm going to put it down here because you can still tell it's hello. But let's put it on dimensionals. I'm getting to the bottom of this one. I think I've made it through 4 different packs so far of different paper to make a card online. So, and there's 10 suites, packs of paper. Okay. So I got a little ways to go. And kind of tuck it right there on top of that gray granite or whatever that color is. That is so pretty. That pebble path, I think. Is it straight? There. Right there. And that's this card. Isn't that cool? I just love this. I love the little bottles. I love that texture there because this paper looks like it's 3D. I mean, it looks like I've already ran it through a die with those little white spots underneath. It looks like I've got a piece of paper under there. So it's just cool, cool, cool paper. I love this. And of course, using this little die, if you have anything like that, that you can just make just an interesting pattern behind your bottles. So if you don't have the stamp set, you can use vintage bottle punch and then put your greenery in it. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for being here. Whoever's been watching, thank you so much. Let's see. I apologize for my mistakes. Let me get this one out of the way. But I still had fun. You guys, I just feel so out of sorts these days. I don't know. Maybe I need to do more than one video a week, but it's hard. It really is hard. So, and I thought I was being so smart. It's like, okay, I've got everything ready almost a week early, and then I didn't have everything ready. So I don't know which way is best. All right. Well, thanks for being here. If you're my friend, hello, and thank you for hanging on with me. And I'll see you next Tuesday for sure at 1 o'clock Central at Stampin' To Connect. Thank you for connecting with me. Bye-bye.